Sir Conrad the Grim versus Torbrand, Thane of Redfell. And that's not an incredible hand. We've got lands and a combo piece though. So we'll keep and start things off with a Dakmor Salvage. That is a tap land. And then we get into some card draw. That's nice. So let's drop the Ancient Tomb. We can go for that right now. Alright, yeah, I'm glad we went for that. We've got a couple of lands on top. We'll put both of those on the bottom. Oh wow, and then we just draw into 2 lands anyway, so we cleared 4 lands off the top there. Not ideal drawing into so many lands, but I'd rather get rid of 4 of them in 1 turn than get rid of 4 of them across 4 turns. A Cathartic Reunion from our opponent, discard 2 and draw 3. And then it's back round to our turn, we get into a tutor. Let's crack the fetch land and get a basic out of the library just so that we've got less chance of drawing into lands. And then we'll throw down the Basalt Monolith and hope that that doesn't get blown up. That's part of a combo piece with the Mesmeric Orb. Torbrand throwing out a Mana Rock and then a Pinger, but that has Summoning Sickness so it won't be pinging us just yet, but that'll be a Lightning Bolt every turn once they get their commander down, which could be next turn. We draw straight back into the Deserted Temple. That was on the bottom, but it got shuffled around and it got shuffled on top of our library apparently. We will play the Deserted Temple and then tap down the Ancient Tomb, use the mana to untap the Ancient Tomb and then tap it down again. And get down our commander. If we can get down a small creature to sacrifice to the tutor, then we can go infinite. Our opponent's commander coming down as well. So I'm sure we'll be dealt 3 points of damage here. And yes, they tap down. Then going for a Faithless Looting, that will untap the Pinger, so that is 6 damage that's going to deal to us. But they decide not to tap it just yet. Oh wow, we rip into a Demonic Tutor straight off the top, so we actually don't need to use the Diabolic Intent now. Let's just go in for the combo. The Mesmeric Orb is the last piece we need. Play that out for 2. And now all we have to do is tap Basalt Monolith for 3 mana. It untaps for 3 mana, so we just put the 3 mana that the Basalt Monolith produces straight back into the artifact, and we can tap and untap it an infinite number of times, triggering the Mesmeric Orb on ourselves each time. And a viewer actually suggested that we should put in another Eldrazi Shuffle effect in case we draw into one of the Eldrazi's, and it's a good job that I took their advice on that, because we do have one of the Eldrazi's in our hand. Luckily Ulamog is still in the deck, so we will have an infinite number of mills here, and therefore infinite damage with our Conrad. Well, our opponent doesn't seem too happy about the infinite combo. Just insert a little bit of sarcasm at my opponent there. And my opponent's right in my opinion. It is actually quite a lame and anticlimactic combo, but there are lots of different types of people that like lots of different types of decks that watch this channel, so I want to try and accommodate everybody, and there are some people that love going for tutors and stuff like that and just getting combos together. Just deciding to scoop it up here. We've got the victory. Our opponent was perfectly willing to sit it out and let us get the win there because they know we're recording. But we're not going to make them sit through that misery. We know that we've won this one. Got into Phyrexian Devourer in the bin as well. That's part of another combo. I've changed the deck around a little bit and inserted, I think I had Mike Trike in here previously, and I've instead gone for the Necrotic Ooze Phyrexian Devourer and Walking Ballista combo. Anyway, good game to my opponent. Big thank you to them for playing it out and having the patience to sit there and let us do that for a little bit to demonstrate the combo. I think we should get on with another game and see if we can get another win condition going. Sir Conrad the Grim versus Marith, Will of the Wild. We're going to keep that because we've got lands. We are short on black mana though, so hopefully that won't punish us too much. Get down our Basilisk Collar on turn 1, just in case we have time to actually equip that to our commander. Our opponent just starts things off with a Mistveil Plains. So we will go in for Bitter Blossom. Then another land, and just passing the turn, our opponent's off to a fairly slow start and they're still missing a couple of colours. Let's get our third land out. And we'll just equip the collar to a fairy so that we can start gaining the life back that we lose from the Bitter Blossom. Our opponent going for a basic land cycling at the end of the turn there, so that will help fix them. And then going in for a Sylvan Scrying as well, so no doubt they will have their Naya mana all set up by next turn. And we draw into another swamp, that's good. The more black mana, the better. Let's just get down the Walking Ballista. We'll put 2+ counters on that. Might be able to shoot something of our opponents, but we want that in the graveyard anyway, really, for Necrotic Ooze. And swinging at our opponent to gain back the life that Bitter Blossom just cost us. Our opponent drops the red mana that they searched for, and then going in for a Skyshroud Claim. So their mana troubles are null and void now. Alright, Entomb is able to get us another combo piece. I don't know which we're going for yet though. Let's just drop our commander. Vesuva coming down as a copy of our Deserted Temple. And then immediately followed by a Wrath of God. So we might as well deal some damage to our opponent with the Walking Ballista in response to that. And then Conrad will deal another point of damage to our opponent because the Ballista went to the graveyard. And then tokens, even though they don't stay in the graveyard, they do hit the graveyard before they evaporate, so Conrad will deal 3 more points of damage there thanks to the fairy tokens dying. Bitter Blossom continuing to trigger here. Alright, we get into Reanimate, which is very good, with an Entomb in tow. Still don't have a combo available to us though, so let's just get down Viscera Seer, and then we'll go in for the Mere Retriever as well. And then we'll equip up the fairy and carry on where we left off next turn. Alright, Aladamri's Call for our opponent. They'll be able to search for a creature. And they search for Night of Autumn, most likely to get rid of the Bitter Blossom, I would think. And I don't think our opponent's missed a land drop yet. There is the Night of Autumn. Let's see what they're aiming that at. Yep, that's going at the Bitter Blossom. Followed by our opponent's commander, Marith. And we've got some small toughness creatures here, so they'll be able to ping some stuff if they want to. Now then, that's a draw. Grindstone. Grindstone, and we can entomb the Painter's Servant into the graveyard and reanimate it. We'd need 4, 5, 6 mana to do that. And we're just short, unfortunately. So let's swing in at our opponent, see if we can encourage them to weaken their commander. They are deciding to ping the fairy, so we'll sacrifice it in response for a scry. Oh, now then. We've got Animate Dead on top. If our opponent has us discard our hand with a wheel, I think Animate Dead might actually be able to save us. So we'll keep that on top. And then Marith sacrificing itself for a couple of Saprolings. And swinging in with the Saprolings. Don't mind that at all. We're looking to win next turn. At the end of our opponent's turn, we will entomb for that Painter's Servant. It will get rid of the Animate Dead, but our opponent hasn't wheeled, so we're not going to need it. We draw into a land, that's really good. And first off, we're going to get out the Grindstone. It's less chance that our opponent's going to remove that, and more chance that they are going to remove Painter's Servant. And once Painter's Servant is in play with the Grindstone to be removed, we've already got the combo off. Reanimate the Painter's Servant we just entombed for. And it doesn't matter what colour we name, we'll just go with black. And then we tap down the Grindstone for 3 mana. And our opponent reveals cards until they stop revealing black cards, which they will not do with a Painter's Servant in play because all the cards in their library are black. Alright, but our opponent reveals a Vigor and shuffles it back into the library. They are welcome to draw into Vigor next turn, and then the turn after they'll draw into an empty library. So that is the Grindstone combo. Our opponent doing something at the end of the turn here. They are going for a March of the Multitudes. They'll get 6 white soldiers with lifelink. We don't really care about lifelink. We're not going after their life total here. Oh. Can you believe that? Well, that is one hell of a victory for our opponent. There is nothing we're doing about that. 4 cards in hand, one of them is Vigor. They have March of the Multitudes. I don't think they could have won with a Craterhoof Behemoth without that March of the Multitudes. So 2 excellent cards in hand that have ended up winning our opponent the game, even though they've got 0 cards in the library. And that's a really good game to our opponent. Yeah. It's really funny when stuff like that happens. I absolutely thought we had that one won with our Painter's Servant and Grindstone combo, but our opponent just beat us at the post there. They go up to 85 life, 0 cards in the library, and we lose by going down to -95. Excellent game by our opponent, and I hope you all enjoyed that one. I'm Tribal Kai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.